Hello, Gemini. Welcome to Soul Good. I'm Amber Marie. Thank you so much for joining me for your February 2023 Tarotscope. We're going to be looking at a lot of information for you this month, so please do remember that this is a collective reading, not a personal reading. Please only take what resonates with you and leave the rest. There will be all sorts of goodies for you to explore in the description box, including a timestamp to jump to the start of the reading. But before you do that, I'm going to ask you to wait for just a second, because coming into your reading, I'm noticing everything blue, very similar to the color of the deck here that we're using today. Also, my beautiful Leo cup here, I have a pair of blue, very similar to this color, blue pants sitting over here next to me. So I'm seeing the color blue everywhere as I look around. It's standing out to me like a neon sign. And not only that, Gemini, but when I was coming into your reading, I saw a blue truck pull in, okay? And then moments after that, another blue truck pulled in, almost the same exact color, okay? So that being said, I feel like blue, the color blue, could be important to you either this month or in general, okay? You may want to do a bit of research to see what the meaning of the color blue is. That may be something that you're drawn to, and maybe you find something that resonates with you. It could also be that for some, I feel like maybe you are experiencing an Archangel Michael type of protection in your life, which means that perhaps there are cords being cut or things that are happening for you in order to protect you, right? Maybe you are cutting ties with certain people, certain situations, living arrangements, locations, jobs, habits, behaviors, hobbies, right? Certain things. I just feel like for some of you, you may resonate with that aspect of the color blue, being that representation of Archangel Michael. And for others of you, as I was coming in, I also got this fear energy, releasing fear. So for some of you, you could be releasing fear around being blue. Okay, I don't know what that means. If it's for you, it will resonate with you. If not, perfectly fine. Leave it where it's at. But I got this message of essentially releasing the fear of being blue. And to some degree, I understand this because there was a point when I feared being sad because it's weakness. Okay. Now, as I've healed and dealt with my own things, I've come to understand that it's so far from the truth. And I no longer fear being sad. I will allow myself to be sad or to experience the sad and to observe it and then release it, of course. But it's different now. So take it if it resonates with you. Let's get into your cards and see what they have to say. Please, Father, Mother, Life, Universe, Spirits, Guides, Angels, our cosmic team, our ancestors, our higher selves, tell us about Gemini's theme for February 2023, please. Okay, thank you. Tell us, please, about what Gemini can expect or something that Gemini already knows in regards to February. Thank you. Tell us, please, what is something that Gemini may not expect about February? Yep, that one too. Thank you. And tell us, please, what stirs happiness within Gemini this month? What stirs happiness within Gemini this month, please? February 2023. Nope, that's way too many. Nice, clear message, please. I feel like you're seeking happiness in a sense, and so I do feel like for some of you it's kind of easy to find, if that makes any sense. Tell us, please, look, you see what I mean? Like, that's way too many cards. I would not take all those cards, but I just feel like there's this element of there could be a lot of things that stir happiness within you, and again, maybe that's because you're seeking them, right? Yeah, they're there. Thank you. Just make sure there are no more anywhere else. Okay. And let's get some clarity. Tell us more, please, about Gemini's theme for the month. Tell us more, please, about Gemini's theme for February. Thank you. Tell us more, please, about something Gemini can expect or something they already know for this month. Tell us more about that, please. Thank you. Tell us, yeah, thank you. Tell us more, please, about what stirs happiness within Gemini this month. Tell us more, please, about what stirs happiness within Gemini this month. Thank you. All right, let's jump in. Okay, Gemini. So your theme for this month, you have the reunion, soul recognition, collaboration, partnership, and friendship. Okay, so first of all, I'm pretty sure that every sign so far has gotten a similar type of coming together kind of message. And at first, there for me was this element, and there have been in some of the signs, and I'm going to mention it here as well because there's that possibility that the energy of reconnecting or experiencing a reunion with a partner or a friend or family member perhaps. But I do feel like there's an overwhelmingly large portion of the collective energy that is reuniting with themselves. I feel like there's a big, and I feel like this is relevant for you, Gemini. I feel like a big aspect of this for and the energy standing out for me significantly is soul recognition, but it's almost as if you're recognizing your own soul. Super fascinating to me because that's not typically the energy that I get with this card. I mean, it's not a frequent card I see, first of all, and second of all, it's not a frequent energy that I pick up on. But I feel like, how do I word this? Let me rephrase. It's not typically the dominant energy. I want to be very truthful here, okay? So I feel like there's something here about seeing yourself, and I want to lovingly say to you, I find this very fascinating because you are labeled or termed the twins, yes? Okay. And, you know, it's interesting because if you have twins staring each other in the face, sure, they may appear to look the same in some cases, but they would be completely different on a personality perspective, you know, oftentimes, or at least have varying degrees of their personalities. And it's interesting because I feel like there's something here about that, Gemini. I feel like there's something here about looking yourself in the face, about seeing your things, recognizing your things. And for some of you, this is something to do with being truthful with yourself. I don't know why I'm getting that. I don't know who that's for or what it's in regards to. If it is for you, you probably already know what I'm talking about. But I feel like that there's that to some degree, okay? For others, I feel like there's this underlying current, if you will, of perhaps reconnecting or establishing a connection or reestablishing a connection with, you know, some form of colleague, friend, family member, romantic partner, etc. And even still, for others, I feel like there's a reunion here in a spiritual sense. Maybe finding your way back to what I would term God. Others may term it source, universe. I don't really care what the label is. It doesn't matter to me. But I feel like you could be reestablishing that connection and coming into a state of collaboration with source, with God, with universe. Let's see what else we have here for you. We have here release the petals, transformation, death and rebirth, shedding and all change. Yeah, so interestingly, because I was getting that kind of fear energy coming up, I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense. Also, with that Archangel Michael in regards to perhaps cutting cords or, separating yourself from certain things. I feel, yeah, it's it was already here before the card was even out for you, right? So I feel like this is something that you're experiencing. Again, shedding things and allowing this transformation to take place. And I do feel like this has a lot to do with, okay, thank you, Lord. Yeah, I'm so separating yourself from certain, again, people, situations, jobs, living arrangements, whatever it is. Because there's almost this element here, Gemini, of recognizing their soul as, how do I word this? Perhaps you're gaining a higher perspective and are able to now see that, oh, this person is actually not really in alignment with what I'm trying to do, what I would like to accomplish, where I'm like the purpose that I'm trying to fulfill, who I am, how I feel. This person isn't actually truly in alignment. Recognizing their truth from a soul level. That's really fascinating because for some of you, you may be seeing that as well. And I feel like there could be some part of that that's like, okay, we're releasing this now because this is not in alignment, and I need to shed these people who actually aren't in collaboration with me, that aren't actually moving from a space of friendship or partnership. Okay, it's really fascinating. That's not at all where I expected that to go, but it happens. Weirder things have happened for sure. I actually just looked up and I saw 1212, so that number could be important to someone. It could be a number you see often. It could be a address, a phone number, a birthday, an age. 12, yes. It could be important for someone. We also have here Sub Rosa for you, hidden in plain sight, mysteries, learning, and teaching. So what's really fascinating is, again, I feel like for some of you, there's this kind of like an epiphany of sorts that says, oh, you are actually not supporting me at all, and you've been here hiding the whole time like you were. Ooh, ooh, I don't know what that's about, y'all. But I feel like if that applies to you, if that story applies to you, I feel like you're definitely learning from these experiences. And in the future, you will likely teach others in some fashion, right? Maybe you're just in conversation and you're like, hey, this happened to me once. Okay. Or maybe you share it with your kids and advise them, if you will, or guide them on how to kind of avoid situations like that, or to be able to recognize when people aren't being truthful, or when they're not, coming through, coming correct, that sort of thing. For others of you, there is this element of, it's interesting. It's coming in as like, perhaps there being people in or around your experience who could potentially, how do I, it feels like they could be part of your tribe, but for whatever reason, like you've been unable to see them as such, or to really connect with them, or maybe they're just kind of like, how do I word this? It's so weird to me, you guys, because it feels like they're kind of like on the outskirts of your circle, if that makes any sense. And maybe you know of them, maybe you don't. Maybe they're just aware of you. But it feels like there's something that maybe you're unable to see them until you release other people or other situations. And it's so fascinating to me. I also feel like for some of you, like there is literally knowledge like right in front of your face, like things that how do I word this? Things that would be helpful in your experience that I feel like are right in front of your face. Again, maybe it has to do with that like mirror seeing things, because that's the thing that's standing out to me so much, is that it's like right in front of your face. And so maybe you find that solutions to certain things or what have you, it's like right there. And maybe it's you things. Yes? What do we have clarifying? So you do have here voice activation, angelic attunement, and divine support. So first of all, I just want to say angelic attunement, holy crap, because we're just talking about Archangel Michael, first of all. Second of all, we have divine support, Archangel Michael, and there's that energy here of essentially collaborating or reconnecting with source, with universe, with God. Okay, so divine support. There's also that energy of, hey, there's people support. Oh my gosh, that just scared the ever living life. I don't even, that probably didn't even make no sense. It just scared me. Oh my gosh. I'm in my office and, printer over. Oh my gosh. Okay, that just scared me. Anyways, maybe you're getting support for your work. I don't know. Okay, maybe that's where the partnership and collaboration comes in. Something. I don't know. But I feel like there's something here. You have voice activation, yes? And for me, that's something about being truthful, being authentic. And sometimes it's the hardest to do when we're talking to ourselves, when we're looking at ourselves. Sometimes it's easy to see the truth of others over ourselves. And I feel like there's something there about it. Yeah, I mean, I can't get past that. So maybe that's important for, maybe it's someone specific, but I just can't get past that feeling of maybe there's some truth that needs to be spoken, like to yourself. Let's see what to expect, or something you already know. Whispers of Mother Earth. So interesting, because you have this energy of like voice activation and then also whispers coming out. So it could be your own voice that you've been hushing. I mean, not just to yourself, but perhaps to other people as well, and perhaps in the form of expression as well. And maybe you already know that, right? Maybe you've been a little less focused on your creative outlets, and maybe that's something that you were incredibly focused on previously. So, perhaps like what you already know is that there's a need to express yourself, to get creative, to find yourself in spirit or inspired. I feel like for some of you, it feels like that's been missing recently. You also have the Divine Matrix. Wow. This is one of my absolute favorite cards in this deck. And it's interconnectedness, synchronicity, and God incidences. So yet again, there's this energy of source or God coming through. And I just want to say that I don't typically mention like God or source or any of that and reading unless I feel like it, unless it feels like that's coming through. And I feel like here there's an element again of reconnecting with source. You can, for me as a reader, it couldn't be more clear. You have angelic attunement here as well, right? Inspired, in spirit. Plus we had that recognition or reconnecting with source coming out already. So I feel, what you already know is that, how do I word it? It's like what I feel like what you already know is, first of all, for some of you, you already know that God, source, universe, whatever you label it as, has been calling you back to it. Okay? maybe some of you have, what is the word I'm looking for? Um, Labeled God as a religion, right? Maybe you've just, that's the only way you see God is through religion. And, you know, unfortunately, if that's true, that's a very, just, it's unfortunate. Okay. I don't really know how else to put that right now. It's unfortunate if that's how you see it. But, you know, here's the thing. I feel like what you like, you already know. I feel the importance of having something larger than yourself guiding you, leading you, being connected to something larger than yourself. I feel like you already know the, like, how to, the word I keep getting is like the benefits. You already know the rewards of doing that. You already know what that feels like. And for some reason, I feel like some of you have been pushing this away, or ignoring it, or denying it, or something. And I feel like God is kind of like reaching out to you. And I feel like you may be seeing this in, you know, the synchronicities or the God incidences here. Or maybe it's coming out in your creativity. Or maybe you're seeing it expressed creatively around you. So I feel like it's interesting. I feel like it's like you already know. It's so wild to me. Something that you may not expect about the month, Gemini. Lineage of the rose, moved by the goddess, here for this, soul, call and gather. It's interesting because you have this gather energy, which is similar to this reunion type of energy. Yeah. So I find that fascinating because I feel like there's something here about, you may not expect coming together with a group of people. You may feel supported by those individuals. I'm going to read the message in the book for you for this card. For whatever reason, I'm just feeling called to do so. So I'm just going to lean into that and see what may be offered. Okay. So remember, as I'm reading this, to apply this to something that you may not expect about the month, okay? So if I can get it to focus. It says here, these times, these changing, divisive times, your soul chose to be here right now for this. You're part of a collective team led by the goddess, by the mother of us all, to reweave the thread of the rose back into the tapestry of humanity. To make spaces where all people feel cherished and safe, to heal and be healed from the destructive patterns of patriarchy, to be part of the return of the goddess to the earth. If you've been doubting your path, you're being called to look within and trust the whispers and weavings from caverns deep. So that's freaking fascinating AF. Let me just hit the pause button for a moment, because you have literally whispers of Mother Earth. Okay? So, like, talk about freaking synchronicities. This card contains within it a confirmation of the inner call and a reassurance that you're not alone in it. The mother of us all thanks you for being part of these changing times for humanity. She acknowledges your devotion to doing your best to support yourself and others in the journey back home to themselves. Yeah, that's what I felt like your reading has been about, Gemini. That's what it's been. To themselves, to each other, and to the earth. She wants you to know that she is available to guide you every step of the way. Speak, sing, and dance with her. You are led. You are led. You are led. So I do feel, again, that I feel like something you may not expect is that creativity could be at the forefront of your experience this month. Which is interesting because it's like you already know. I don't even know how to explain it. It's so wild to me. Like, if this is how your brain works, ow. Right? Because it's like, I feel like you already know that creativity connects you or puts you in this very inspired state. And I feel like it affects how you move through your entire experience, not just when you're creating, right? But there's also this energy here of, again, like it said here, where was that? Yeah, I don't know where it's at now. Where did it go? Ah, yeah, okay. Um, you're part of a collective team led by the goddess, by the mother of us all, to reweave the thread of the rose back into the tapestry of humanity, right? And then also to trust the whispers. And then it comes back even further to say, speak, sing, and dance with her. So there's this element, I mean, they're kind of, it's like, I feel like you already know the impact that that has on your experience. And for some reason, it's still unexpected. Maybe you don't realize how much. Let's see what else you have here. Plant yourself here. Integration, embodiment, grounded action. Okay, so yeah, maybe you just don't realize like how much it affects your life once you actually start moving from that space. Okay, maybe that's what it is. Because you, again, this is what you may not expect. We have integration, embodiment, grounded action. So I feel like maybe you just don't realize how valuable it is for you to, or not valuable, that's not the word I'm looking for. Maybe you don't realize the changes that the grounded action will actually bring in. Because I feel like they could be significant, especially when it comes to the foundations of who you are. It's really interesting. What else? What else? What else? Venusian Galactic Council, Star Being Guides, answer the call, time to shine. I mean, you have Soul Call with Lineage of the Rose, and now you have Answer the Call. So I feel like something you don't know is like this month I feel like you're being like you're, and you have soul recognition. Like I just literally feel that you are being called to sink further, to plant yourself in who you are. Truly. What, after you face the mirror, after you tell yourself all the truths, after you realize like, oh damn, this is who I am, okay? For, I mean, good, bad, ugly, everything in between, this is who I am, right? Once, I feel like it is that time for you to sink into that, to embody the truth of who you are, and to answer the call to be exactly who you are. And it's interesting because again, like there's this another like mirrored type of effect with this card here, right? These two beings, like if you were to, you could essentially like put a mirror there. And I feel like something you may not expect is like, this is something you're supposed to be seeing. This is something you're supposed to be experiencing. It's supposed to essentially crack you open so that you realize the truths of who you are and you answer the call, and or rather, yeah, you answer the call and sink deeper into like, oh, this is actually who I am. Okay, cool. Right? And then shine your light out into the world because it's part of what you're here for anyway. We're all unique for a reason. We all have experienced specific situations and people for a reason, because it molds us into who we are, which then we learn from. We pull ourselves out of whatever situation, experience, and then we teach other people how to do it. So, I feel like the thing that you don't expect is like, this is part of answering your call. This is part of you shining. So, so often, you guys, and maybe this doesn't apply to any of you, but maybe it does. So often, people are like, ooh, I'm posting all these spiritual memes and it's so great. Like, I feel so good. But they really don't, though, because they're like walking, or they're talking the talk, but they're not walking the talk. They're just posting memes about it. And walking the talk is way different, because walking the talk, it's not all rainbows and sunshine and butterflies and positive quotes. It's ugly crying and wanting to peel your skin off and not understanding who you are and feeling like you're losing your mind. I mean, it is literally this, like, unbecoming of sorts. It's like peeling all the things off, and it's painful. Like, so for whatever reason, I just feel like there's an element to this of, maybe you weren't expecting it to be that rough. Okay, maybe you had this idea of spirituality, of healing, that was false, that led you to believe that it was going to be fun. Okay, I don't know, take it if it resonates with you, but that is wild to me. What stirs happiness within you this month, Gemini? You have the fertile void, inner winter, rest, patience, potency, and secret beginnings. So I find it fascinating, because I mean, here's the real deal, and I'm just going to call it like I see it, and maybe you don't resonate with it, and that's fine. I feel like part of what stirs happiness within you this month, Gemini, is just being by your damn self. Is by learning how to enjoy your own company patiently, quietly, without distraction. And I feel like in those times, maybe you're praying, maybe you're meditating, maybe you're just sitting in silence. But I feel like it gives you the opportunity to connect with source, God, universe, mother, earth, whatever you connect to. And I feel like, I mean, for more so, again, for me, I call it God. Also refer to it as Father, Mother, Life. You may also hear me, call it source or universe, just for the sake of conversation. But I mean, for me, it's God. And when you get alone and you have alone time and you connect with source on a very personal level, I don't have words to articulate what kind of happiness that stirs within you, because there is nothing earthly that's comparable to it. I mean, maybe you could start by, the first time you look into your child's eyes. Maybe that's one way of describing that feeling of connecting with God. Or maybe the first time you realize that you love someone unconditionally. Okay, that, which, that is an experience all in itself. But maybe those are some of the ways, or maybe when you witness a beautiful act of kindness or an act of compassion, right? Maybe then you could kind of, start to describe it through those kinds of things. But I feel like there's something there about the potency of being by yourself, or being in what some would refer to as like a void, because I feel like it creates new soil, if you will, for new experiences, for secret beginnings, as it were. So I feel like something that stirs happiness within you this month, that is being alone and having that time to yourself. I feel like you may find yourself feeling much more happy in your own company. What else do we have here for you? The Breathing Rose, heart healing, emotions, connection, and time eases. So, it's so fascinating to me because, again, I'm just sharing this from my own perspective, okay? My healing experience, I can tell you there are several days, weeks, months where I did not want anyone around me because of what I was healing, what I was experiencing, what I was going through, the emotions that I was feeling. And there were times where I would go days without talking to anyone, or a week without talking to much of anyone, or seeing much of anyone, because this is what I was doing. I was focused on my healing and sitting with those things and feeling them. It's really fascinating to me, and it's interesting because for some, I feel like it's like, how can that stir happiness? Well, maybe it doesn't right now. Okay, maybe it doesn't right now, and I'm just going to be honest with you because I don't want you blowing up my page later saying, what do you mean, like, this is supposed to make me happy? Okay, not saying you guys would. I'm just, I'm just being kind of silly, but I feel like maybe it doesn't stir happiness now. Okay, but reestablishing that connection with God and working on your healing can help you find happiness later. And you may find moments when you feel yourself release something and you feel that weight come off of your shoulders. That creates a whole nother level of happiness that I don't think everybody's ready to have conversations about yet. Because oftentimes we associate happiness with things that we have, things that we can hold in our hands, right? So let's see what the clarifier is. Gaia Gateway Activation, Learning Experiences, there it is again. Wisdom Transmission, and Earth Intelligence. So first of all, again, I feel like in the quiet moments, you're going to be learning things, especially about yourself. And I feel like you could be getting messages, right? Whispers, literal. You have, I don't know why, but I'm getting this energy because we have like this wisdom transmission. We have the voice activation. Okay. And then we have this whispers of Mother Earth as well. Soul call, right? So like vocal type of things. I feel like you might be experiencing that this month, like on a spiritual level. Like maybe you're hearing things that you can't readily see with your eyes. Okay. And just know, like, this is, it is what it is. Like, as we move forward in our soul journey, and as we release things and learn new things about ourselves, oftentimes these are things that have been dormant within us and have just been waiting for the opportunity. So it may be one of those. I do want to read the message for you for this card, though. It is, I think they're pretty short. Yeah, it's not very long at all. So if you just look there, it's just a little short blurb. So again, consider this with what stirs happiness within you this month and what we've talked about with this kind of being in the void and being by yourself and healing and those sorts of things, okay? Sometimes it is not our role to know how everything will unfold. When you draw this card, it is a reminder to trust the plan. The wisdom of Gaia is with you at this time, and you can enjoy the natural expansion that is taking place. You may have a tendency to go traveling and look to the stars for answers, but realize that the planet you call home has much to offer too. You have chosen to be here. This may not be easy to accept, especially if your current reality is a harsh one, but your current experiences are vital for your growth. The Earth herself cannot escape the challenges that she is facing at this time. Learn from her strength. Learn from her yearning for a better future. Come back to her. She is your chosen home. So you guys, what's really interesting is that as I'm sitting here, all of a sudden my stomach is growling, and I don't know if you could hear that, but it was like pretty loud just a moment ago. And here's the thing, I'm getting a couple of things with that. One being like empty yourself of, how do I word this? Because I feel like some of you may have this view on the planet, on people, um yeah, okay, situations, like you may have kind of like this judgy, I don't know why I'm getting that word, you guys, but you may have this kind of like judgy perspective. And I'm getting this feeling of like, forget everything you know, right? It's like, wipe this slate clean. I don't know why, but I'm getting that energy of like, empty yourself of what, like these, how do I word this? Like, what, wipe yourself or empty yourself of these ideas that you have about people and life and these sorts of things because you chose to be here. And I feel like maybe that's why you need to be alone, because you need to come back to that place. You need to come back to that understanding of, you chose to be here at this time. You have unique things to offer the planet. And so it's about coming back or coming to that space. But in order to do that, you have to be willing to see yourself very clearly. You have to be willing to essentially empty yourself out, get of everything, and silence everything, right? So I just feel like there's a big focus on that for you this month, Gemini. If something resonated in this reading for you, please do the YouTube things by liking, sharing, subscribing, or commenting below. It really does tell YouTube that there may be something important for others to see here, and they push it out. So I really do appreciate that very much so. I pray that your month is full of clarity, truth, and also opportunities to reinforce those clarities and those truths, because I feel like that could allow you the confidence to shine, to be exactly who you are. Not to say that you're running from it, but I do feel like there are some aspects of yourself that you may be running from, or maybe you just don't know are there. And so I pray that you have the courage to be able to see those things and to allow them to help you to illuminate certain things about yourself that maybe you didn't know before, which thus, hopefully, I'm praying will allow you to step into your purpose, your mission, and will help you to contribute to humanity overall. So, again, thank you so much for being here. I truly do appreciate you. I pray your month is beautiful. Take care of your amazing, incredible soul. Remember that you've got this and God's got you. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.